Since it was announced that Disney is going to be releasing this live Snow White film, a remake of an animated classic, of course, conservatives are up in arms. Can you guess maybe the reason why? Gay, trans, Black, Latino, something. We got to figure out something that they're upset about. If you guys guessed not white, you guessed correctly, especially since it's Snow White. One of these biggest critics is one Ben Shapiro, who many times people have talked about. He once wanted a career in television and filmmaking, so this is right up his alley. He's a critic of this particular thing, and Shapiro's own media outlet, the Daily Wire, has released their own version of Snow White to combat against the one that cast Rachel Zegler. Rachel Zegler is the one that's in the live action one that apparently they're upset about. And instead, they figured they'd put someone else in her place for their own film. You know what? Let's watch that trailer.
Once upon a time, in time a prince would come. Once upon a time, but now that time is gone.
Whew. Oh my God, I'm so glad Snow White is white. Oh God, this has been dominating my entire life. Snow White is so white, whiter than the last Snow White. So white, we put bleach and whitened her, white. Nothing can get any whiter than Snow White. Aren't we successful now? Because that's the only thing we care about now is Snow White. That woman's name is Brett Cooper, and she used to be an actor before she became a conservative YouTuber. More power to her. Here's what she had to say about starring in the new Snow White. I was raised in the original Grimm's fairy tale, so I'm thrilled that we're bringing this iconic story to life for the next generation. Snow White is such a beautiful character, and I'm honored to be playing her. Like all the best fairy tales, this is a story with timeless values like love, friendship, and kindness. And I can't wait to share them. That last line again. This is one of the best fairy tales. It's about these things, timeless values, love, friendship, and kindness. And if there's anyone that's not a white person playing it, then there's no such thing as love, friendship, and kindness, apparently, because that's only reserved for a white person. Why does it change the values of the movie if it's someone else that's not white? By the way, just one little piece of information because I was curious. I didn't know who Rachel Zegler is. I had no idea. I looked her up. Guess what her background is, David Shuster?
Well, I'm afraid to ask, but go ahead, tell me.
Her mother's Colombian, and that's the bad part. That's the evilness. Her dad is Polish. Is that white enough? I mean, she's some white. Is maybe because she's only like, what matte white? What's an off-white? Cream? What is it that the actors upset about? Because she doesn't look white enough is the problem with these folks. So they had to get someone that looked even whiter. Who cares what the storytelling is? Jeremy Boring, who's the CEO of Daily Wire, claims that the Disney live-action Snow White will expose children to the popular but destructive lies of the current moment. He went on to say that while Disney still uses Walt Disney's name, they have all but abandoned his legacy. It's taken 100 years to build Disney. We know we aren't what they are today, but we hope in time we might become what they were once upon a time. A little studio with big ideas and the courage to chase them. Is it this big of a deal? This is not what Walt Disney wanted. Walt Disney wanted only white people. This is not the flex that you think it is, bro. Talking about Walt Disney like that. Charlie Kirk jumped on it as well. He X'd this out. So glad Disney's new woke Snow White has some competition. Good for Daily Wire Plus, as he then retweeted or re-X'd, reposted that same trailer that we just saw. So again, Ben Shapiro's the one who's part of this whole thing, trying to push this whole thing. Maybe he was a part of the production of it. I'm not sure, but here's this next video of how much they've lost their mind, and apparently with Ben Shapiro being one of them.
Her name is Snow White. Now you might consider that racist, but that's also the name of the actual fairy tale. And in the actual fairy tale, it says skin. I mean, this is from the original 1936 Snow White. Skin as white as snow, right? That is literally in her name. That's why she has her name. So I guess just to like screw with people, they're casting, Rachel Zegler is a very talented person. I'm just, it's weird casting, you might say. Well, Snow White is like maybe the only racially specific white princess because it's in the name. And it's not like greatly evil if a person is cast as what the part is.
Nobody said it's evil, but I mean, you can just build that straw man all you want. But when someone else casts, again, Colombian and Polish woman to play the role, apparently it is evil. So it sounds like a bunch of projection. One more, because Charlie Kirk was all over this. Here's his last ex that we're going to be talking about. He says, welcome to some of the first images from Disney's live action remake of Snow White and her DEI dwarfs. Snow White is played by a Hispanic actress, and there's only one dwarf and 6 full-grown adults. Disney says it's taken the casting of the film, quote, in a new direction to avoid reinforcing stereotypes. Then he talked about how much Disney's lost as far as box office things, as if they give a damn how much Disney makes. I don't either. But this is the one thing, maybe surprising take for me. Have at it. Make as many Snow White alternatives as you want. That's cool. If people would rather see Lily's super Snow White, cool. I don't care. That's the thing. It's this random thing that goes on in this country that people like you say you are into. Freedom. Watch what the hell you want. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm not watching either one of these because I don't give a damn about the story of Snow White. I tried watching the original Snow White when I first got Disney Plus. I was like, oh, I haven't seen the old 1930s something Disney movies. They're probably pretty creepy. Let's see what Snow White was about, because I have no recollection of any moment from this film. I was going to say 15 minutes. 7 minutes of this movie. The driest, most boring, senseless, nonsense, nothing happening first 7 minutes of any film I've ever seen in my life. I was like, when is it gonna pick up? Because all I saw was her just prancing around for a very long time. It's like, this was wasted time. I don't care about Snow White. And actually, if your kid sees a Snow White that's only Polish and Colombian, their head won't explode. This is the thing. What's gonna happen if your kid sees it?
Hi ho! Oh, that was Snow White, right? Okay, I'm just making sure I get
think
that.
so.
So a couple of things. When I saw that trailer of Ben Shapiro's, film, the first visceral reaction that I had, Jayar, was not about any of this sort of controversy and the color of the actress or whatever. The first thing I thought of was, remember that scene from Animal House where John Belushi picks up the guitar because some guy is singing on the stairwell and he just like smashes it and breaks it into pieces. That's what I wanted to do to that actress and whoever made this film. That song, whatever she was singing, was horrifying. It was terrible.
That's right.
So that's turning me off right off the start. To your point, if people want to make a movie, if they want to make the woke version, if they want to make the PC version, if somebody wants to make the actually, somebody already has made the pornographic version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I do not recommend anybody see that one because that's an image you will never forget. Whatever people want to do, you got creative license, go for it.
Again, you don't have to like it. You don't have to like that the dwarfs aren't all dwarfs, because I think that was another part of the criticism, is they were too tall. That's fine. Actually, that probably frustrated me too. I was like, I kind of want the dwarfs to be dwarfs. We're doing live action. I want it to look like what it was before. That's just a preference, bro. And if that throws me off, there's this, I gotta reiterate it. You can do this random thing, stay home or not stream it. It's really, really easy rather than thinking this is part of it.
Sorry.
I'm taking too many secondary meanings behind your dwarfism there. We'll say it that way. You're standing, or this is maybe your I was gonna say recital. This is your what they do in their audition.
The only reason I really know about this, Jayar, is because back when I was in the local news some 20-some years ago, and I was in Little Rock, and we went to St. Louis and did a story about the ice skating version of Snow White. And so, all these characters were dressed up as the dwarfs and Snow White skating all around, and the songs and all that was kind of cute. I don't remember whether Snow White was black or white. I just remember thinking, some of the songs are pretty cool. And how do they skate with those costumes on? That's all I could think about.
By the way, he mentioned the description of Snow White and what she was originally in the story. Lily is the whitest. I don't know what he even said, but it's somebody, she's super white is the point, right? So she has to be white because that fits with the story. There's a lot of variations with stories when they change it. Sure, you can change it. There's some black folks' last name is White, in case you didn't know that, so we can even say that. So it's just a story. It's not real, so you can change anything you want. Something else a lot of conservatives like to change is what the description of Jesus was. Because in that Bible, that holy thing that you say you absolutely stand behind and you worship, there was no description of Jesus having long flowing hair, looking like Fabio, of super white skin, or any of the stuff that we like to put and portray Jesus as, who multiple the main one that stuck out to me was Megyn Kelly saying, "How dare anyone say that Jesus was not white? What's the matter with you?" Well, the description in the Bible says completely different about some kinky wool-like hair, things like that. It was a description of Jesus. Jesus, the original Walt Disney, I guess, the God who wrote the Bible, the original Walt Disney wrote the real Jesus. He was not lily white, but you guys made him that way. Should we be mad at that? Should we recreate the new Jesus? Write the whole Bible over again? I don't know, but it's stupid. I didn't mean to. Just sorry. It's so stupid.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.